Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me again here today. I thought I would do one of my "You're Doing It Wrong" videos for you guys. So when I do these videos, they are based on different techniques that I see people doing that are slightly wrong, or mainly questions that people have about makeup and want me to answer. So don't take this video as offensive if you do any of the techniques I show you in this video. What I say is incorrectly. It's not even that they're incorrect, it's just me trying to help you guys improve your techniques and application. So just before we get into that today, if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Robert. I'm a professional makeup artist, and it is my goal here on YouTube to help you become a pro yourself, or just someone who's really good at makeup. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, then please consider subscribing to my channel. Okay, let's get straight into it. The first thing I want to talk to you guys about is blending brushes. And this is something you may have seen me say a few times throughout different videos, but in terms of blending brushes, whether it be eyeshadow, foundation, powder, whatever you're using to blend anything, it really does matter where you hold the brush. And another thing as well is you'll notice that some brushes are actually weighted. So cheaper brushes you'll find are really light. With more expensive brushes, you'll find that one end is quite heavy. And when you do that kind of like, oh, it's a magical bendy pencil trick, you'll feel that one side is weighted. And it's to help you balance. Brushes are a little bit more technical than we realize. So if you want a really harsh, heavy application of color, you can hold the brush closer to the hairs of the brush. If you want it to be a lot softer, then you can hold it right up the tip here. Holding it right up the tip here is really good for blending through eyeshadow, contour, highlighter, anything where you need to be really light-handed and you want a light dusting of product. If you want to hold it right here, that gives you a really harsh application of color. So if you want really dense color on the lid, and then you can go through and blend it like this. Or for example, you want to create a really heavy, strong line if you're doing eyeliner or color underneath the eye. So by holding it at the end, you get more of a lighter application. By holding it right close to here, you get something quite harsh and dense. So next up is brow gel. So brow gel is something that people use differently. I know there's people that prefer to apply brow gel before any brow product. Some people prefer afterwards, but that's not really what I'm going to talk about. So instead of using brow gel just like, you know, a mascara and just whacking it through the brows like this way, I have quite a good system that will help your brows stand up in place, especially if you have thicker, bushier brows. So the idea with a brow gel is to go against the way the hairs grow first. So with me, I take it this way first and this way first. So the idea is to get right into the root of a brow and to make them as bushy and as untidy as possible, and then wait for that to set for a few minutes. So do something else, apply your something, give it like 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then go back in and then just apply the brow gel as you would normally. This is going to give you a really strong, tough, it's almost like someone's holding your brows at the bottom like this. So they stand on end the whole day. And I know sometimes it's really difficult, especially with bigger, thicker brows like mine, to have them stand up. But then that way you get a really strong, heavy, bushy brow. So some of you guys may not be aware that I really don't like baking. I know you guys, I say it every video, I have to get in there somehow. But here's the deal. I know a lot of people do like it, and I know it works for a lot of people, and then I also know that a lot of people want to set under their eyes with a clear powder. From my other videos, I have a lot of people mention that they have to bake under the eye, otherwise the concealer doesn't last, but they hate the way baking looks. Here is my option for you guys. And it's the same with setting powder under the eye in general. Even if you don't bake, even if you just like to use a light dusting of powder, find a powder that isn't sold as a baking powder. What you'll find with baking powders is that they are very thick, almost like flour. And that's when you start to get that really tight, really like you just wash your face and haven't done anything kind of feeling. Look for a powder that is very finely jet milled. It's going to have a really silky, really soft, really light texture. It's featherweight compared to something like a baking powder. So it's going to blur the skin. It's still going to do the job you want it to do. It still sets. You can use it on the whole face, but it doesn't have that cakey finish. Applying it with a very small blending brush and then just kind of buffing that under the eye will give you enough powder and setting. You don't have to go crazy with the whole thing. So next up is brows. And I know brows are a very personal thing. Yes, you want your brows to kind of be a nice shape. They don't have to necessarily be symmetrical. They need to line up with your eye, and every eye is different. Even your left and your right is slightly different. But people don't realize how much of an effect the shape of the brows can have on your face. And it's something that people do, which I really don't understand. And yes, makeup is very personal, but I take this personally. And that's when people square off their brow on the inside corner in a physical box shape. So not only does it look super unnatural, super Sharpie-like, and just generally quite awful, it also makes the brow bone very heavy. It brings in your face a little bit too far in and can kind of make everything out of sync with itself. The way I like to do brows, and again you don't have to do it this way, is to have them fade from light to dark. Now on me that's quite difficult because I have very thick dark brows. So instead of boxing them off on the inside corner, I always like to start off about here on a brow and then just gently start shading in that outside. And then very lightly apply some colour and then brush that into the rest of a brow. That way you get more of an ombre effect with a brow. It keeps this whole area here nice and light and bright. Next up is lashes, false lashes. So when we apply lashes, I see a lot of people applying lashes in a certain way, and it's only really lashes that are this kind of shape. So ones that start off a little bit smaller on the outside corner and then get bigger and flick. You run the risk of making your eyes kind of look a little bit droopy, and I've had a lot of clients say this to me, that they never wear lashes because it brings their eye down. So something we commonly do, which I mean, is fine, is we just line the lash up with our top waterline, right to the outside corner, right to the inside corner. And we forget about the effect it has on our eye shape, and we also forget about the bottom waterline. Here's ideally what you want to do. You want to line up the outside flick of that lash where it kind of dips with almost in line with your bottom waterline. So that way you're going to get a constant lift. Imagine there's an invisible line, and I think this is always a rule with eye makeup I do in general if you want to lift the eye and stop making it look quite droopy, is imagine there's an invisible line going from your bottom waterline carrying on up. Nothing should pass that invisible line, even the outside corner of an eyelash. So yes, it may leave a little gap in the outside corner, but we can blend that in with some darker eyeshadow, eyeliner, something like that. But lashes that are this shape are meant to lift your eye and give you a really nice flick on the outside corner, and sometimes it can just do the opposite. So just move it on this way a little bit more. If you have to trim the lash, trim it from the longer side inward. You don't want to trim this corner because then you'll be left with this and it'll be touching you up in here, and you don't want that. Anyway guys, thank you so much for your help. I don't know what I'm gonna say. One of my favorite things about having this YouTube channel is seeing you guys share your advice in the comments section below. So if you have any good tips on makeup, anything you've discovered that you really love doing, leave it below. Some things that work for me or don't work for me might work incredibly well for you. So it's nice to see that kind of exchange of tips going on in the comments. Give this video a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to, and turn on the notification bell also if you want to receive notifications. Thanks again guys, and I will see you very soon. Bye.